And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Watch Soup. And I am joined by my constant partner in crime on Sunday nights, my co-host, Sanjay. Sanjay, how are you this evening? How's it? How's a Sunday evening in Canada going for you?
Very good. Yeah, it's my 1 day weekend, so I'm a little tired, but
Yeah.
had a good day today. The last day before a major lockdown over here, so
Mm.
Ooh,
went out and about, went to the park, kind of had some fun with the kids, and yeah, enjoying the night.
So now, would you be still going into the office? Are you an essential worker in a sense?
I am, yes. So I
Okay.
still have to go in. I can't work from home, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of logistical stuff
Hmm.
and things that I do that I have to be on site.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunate.
Well, hey, listen, at least we can talk about what's on your wrist tonight. What do you got on
Yeah,
your wrist?
I have my Grand Seiko GMT high beat.
Yeah. Still making that connection, reconnecting with that guy, huh?
Well, I'm all reconnected. I think this is not going anywhere.
So now, is the days numbered for the Railmaster?
No.
Okay. Okay.
The guy's staying
oh
as well.
no.
No, still going strong on both of these guys. So
Yeah.
yeah, not flipping yet.
Oh, good. And today we're joined by a guest, Rahsaan. How are you, man? How are
Doing
you
good.
doing?
Doing
Yeah.
good. Taking it easy.
Yeah.
Sunday. We just pretty much opened up here from
Mm,
quarantine, so
yeah.
I'm have to get used to getting up and going to work. So instead of working from this room, this was my classroom here for a while. I'm a school teacher, so
Wow. So this is tomorrow's gonna be your first day in classroom in what, maybe a year or
yeah,
how long? Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
hmm
Wow, man. That's gonna be some sort of adjustment. I mean, are you
It
looking
is.
forward to it or?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
getting really a lot of going stir crazy in the house,
Of course.
and I have kids,
Yeah.
and they were here also. My wife is also a school teacher.
That's-
So they were doing the online thing, and
yeah.
oddly enough, in a house with two school teachers both doing online, the kids are doing online. Like we weren't able to give them the
Oh
attention that
yeah.
they needed, so they
Yeah.
were basically in charge of their own education since August.
Wow.
Even with two teachers, really
Yeah.
close, we couldn't. It was like, okay, guys, you set up, okay, go, we got to go.
Now, are you a elementary school or high school teacher
High
or
school,
high
yeah, I
school?
teach high
Okay.
school.
Okay. So, and are your kids in elementary or in high school?
Elementary, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Wow. That's
Uh, oh
Can
boy.
I ask how your internet service provider handled all that? Is that did that work well?
Oh, it, we knew that we would be starting off online,
Yeah.
and when the school shut down, it was terrible. Towards
Mhm.
the end of the year, like we couldn't
Right.
stay connected for very long. But over the summer, everybody knew, okay, we're going to have 3,000 students, X amount of teachers as well. Everybody's going to be online, so they bolstered up.
Wow.
They were able to handle the load this time. It's been pretty smooth.
That's good.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, good luck tomorrow. And what do you got on wrist, Rob?
Today I'm wearing a Breguet, the Type
Oh,
21,
yeah.
which I've been
Such an awesome
trying to wear
watch, man.
this one a lot. Trying
Yeah.
to break in the strap still. So
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that look of the Breguet Type 20 and 21. Such an awesome
yeah,
watch.
I actually like the Type 20, the dial. The dial
Mhm.
layout is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I like that dial layout, but I like the 21 more because
Mhm.
it's larger. It fits my wrist better. The
Yeah.
20 is only 39 millimeter, but it
Yeah.
makes much better use of that dial space. The 21,
Interesting.
while I like the dial, there
Hmm.
seems to be a little bit of dead space on there.
Hmm.
Even which is weird for a chronograph, but it's like it just doesn't. The spacing is not what I would like it to be.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Yeah, I got my Jaeger and Benzinger, my evening watch
yeah.
on for tonight, and
And how was your weekend?
well, did a lot of things with the kids. Yesterday was kind of cold and dreary here in New Jersey, and then today was much better, and we got them outside, and we have a lot of we've been cutting down a lot of trees and branches and getting a lot of brush. So we had every once in a while we'll do a fire outdoors and to burn a lot of that. And the kids made s'mores, and it was kind of fun. And it was
Nice.
actually not more than kind of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so yeah, living the dream. So let's get started, guys. First things first. Going over last week's comments, and not so much on the comment front, but we did get a comment from a very up and coming famous YouTuber, the Mad Watch Collector. He's a good friend of the show. Great show, guys. The Two-Tone Explorer. Geez, what were they thinking? I wonder if Sir Edmund Hillary would make of this precious soft metal rugged field watch. Saying that, I wonder what he think of the I couldn't get the read boards. That's my bad, guys. Anyway, yeah, I mean so we were doing a little bit of a wrap up last week indirectly by watching some of the videos from the YouTube content creators, and there was not much love for the two-tone Explorer.
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
Right.
would like it. I like the Tudor Royal, so I would like it.
No, it's not. Tudor Royal's a fine watch.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. That's all. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Let's check out the comments before we go into Sanjay's segment here. Blue Shirt, how you doing? Underachieving Watch Collector, hello, sir. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Let us also know what you guys are wearing on wrist. Hey, Wilson, what's going on, man? It's fun talking to a lot of these guys. I know, Sanjay, you get involved too with the chat on the Discord.
Yeah.
So meeting these guys actually in person, sort of, well, via link is pretty cool. Kevin S, what's going on? Be Dead, perfect way to end the Sunday night with a live stream. I couldn't disagree with you more. Way, what's up? Or agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. It's been a long day. It's okay. It's been a long day. Watch yourself. My degree is in education, and you couldn't pay me enough to step foot in a classroom. Props for Rob for doing hard work, for sure.
Thanks.
Oil Money, Ra is okay. First movie reference of the night. Okay, is the substitute. Okay, I got a little scared there with Oil Money because sometimes he makes other types of references about movies. So I just wanted. So yeah. So Sanjay, have you ever seen The Substitute?
No.
Oh, it's a good one.
Okay.
Do watch that.
Yeah.
I'm giving you homework.
All right.
Yeah.
When this is over, watch The Substitute. It's
Well,
freaking
he's
good.
got a long list
I
of
have a
movies
lot
to
of
catch.
homework.
Jeff, is good to see Ra and the Brigade. Bobby saying Brigade Type 20 and 21 are beautiful watches. Couldn't agree with you more. Here we go. Hey, Watch Chris, how are you? Thanks for joining us. I was on Rock the Watch stream last night with Watch Chris. Had a great time.
Mhm.
Yeah, 4 stream live streams in a row. That's right.
Running through at both ends.
What's it? Bobby is becoming the Michael Caine of the live stream world. He is everywhere these days. Is Michael Caine everywhere these days? I guess. Do you know who Michael Caine is, Kevin? I mean, Sanjay?
Nope.
Okay.
Is he like that old guy?
He's one of them. Yeah, he's one of the old guys.
was he Albert in Batman?
Yes, he was with
there you
not
Ben
the
Affleck.
not the no, that
What
was
was he?
Jeremy Irons, right? With Ben Affleck. Was it?
Oh, he was with Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
That's
Yeah.
his
Dark
name.
Knight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ep is wearing the nice
Ooh.
Longa One moon phase. That's a beautiful watch, man.
It's nice.
Beautiful watch. Watch with Murky JG. The Type 20 has the Frederick Breguet movement. Super expensive to service, no doubt. Only thing holding me back. Okay. What kind of movement is in your 21, Ra?
This one has it's a Valjoux
Valjoux?
base movement
Okay.
in there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I love Valjoux. Nothing wrong with Valjoux for sure. Okay, and Bobby's wearing his Snoopy 3. Excellent. Awesome. Yeah, he's been over 130 movies. Okay. Roar the Tiger. How are you? He's wearing his Luminox Recon. And Junior Johnson, hello, sir. How are you? Okay, so moving on to the review segment. Sanjay, please take over.
Sounds good. Thank you, Rob. All right. So for the first review of the week, at least we picked 4 reviews that were interesting this week. One that was really interesting was the review on the Tudor Black Bay 58 925 silver, so the taupe dial, taupe bezel. Yeah, there was a lot of questions about whether it will be, a reasonable watch to wear. And Hafiz Mahmoud did a really in-depth review of the 925 Tudor 58, Black Bay 58. And I gotta say, it was kind of disappointing to see some of the issues with it. I don't know if you guys caught the review, but the bezel was really disappointing. That was kind of the things that was in the back of my mind. With such a soft metal, it could bend stuff right inside the bezel mechanism. I mean, I didn't think it would, but there was a massive backplay on every click of the bezel, and that made the Oris Diver 65 look good. So that was really disappointing to see. There was a bit of QC issues, kind of a particle on the 8 o'clock index. So, a couple of issues with the Black Bay 58 taupe. I don't know if you guys wanted to add anything. It was
a good review. I wasn't, with the QC issues with the hair and the stuff under the dial. Like for a watch like that, it wouldn't really bug me that much.
Yeah.
Because like he even said in the video, like you really have to look to see, but they're there. So I would let that slide. It's a great looking piece. If they made that one in the 41 millimeter standard, I would be all over it in a second. But it's like I agreed with him too, where he says it's a little bit too small.
Yeah.
Even with the lug to lug, 47 millimeter, still, it doesn't take up enough real estate. So,
I like the size. I know Rob does too, but it would be nicer and a bigger option as well.
Wilson saying, "Don't use a macro or loop. Ignorance is bliss." Very, very true.
I could see the dot at the 8 o'clock before he actually mentioned it. There was a significant dot at the 8 o'clock position. So without a loop.
No, I know how maddening that is. That's what happened with this watch here when I got it after I bought it. It had a piece of lint. I thought it was a scratch on the dial, and it turned out to be a piece of lint that didn't move. And it was kind of maddening. I sent it, back to service, and fortunately, we didn't need to get a new dial. It was just a piece of lint. But that can definitely affect me. I mean, this had to be a QC issue too, right? I mean, like, how does a piece of lint get inside there after you inspect it, right? So, I've heard some things about Tudors here and there, about some, bezel alignment as well as other, like, stuff underneath the crystal. But I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, right? You'd have to deal with it, and then hopefully you could send it back and they can take care of it. Yeah. But really nice, really good review on the watch. I was just a little kind of spent on the new Black Bay releases. I was just like, okay. I kind of, you know what I mean? I was in and out of attention, unfortunately, in this video. So,
no, that's fair. It was, I think the main thing that bugged me was that bezel action, the back play. But yeah, great review. The other one I'd like to mention was the Cartier Santos review, or Santos, I should say, review by Brandon Menancio. He did a great review on the Santos. I think it came either early today or yesterday. I can't really remember, but great video, very in-depth. There was a bit of history, talking about, this being the first pilot's watch, the first wristwatch. And it was some great footage. Not a lot to say, except for saying that the Santos is one of my favorite Cartiers, and I hope to experience. I have experienced it. I hope to own one at some point. preferably in two-tone. But what do you guys think of that review?
So
I liked it.
yeah, I liked it. It's funny. Last week you had mentioned about Sanjay about the idea of IWC bracelet, whatever review or whatever piece of marketing footage. I don't remember what it was, but they didn't show. Oh no, it was Bark and Jack.
Yeah.
With that quick pin release, link release, that he
Yeah.
didn't show it, and then you have this guy today showing it on the Santos. You know what I mean? And I was like, yes, this is great, because he mentioned the
Mhm.
IWC having that same technology, and we didn't get to see it on one of the major YouTube content creators. Like he didn't do it, and this guy did it with the Santos. So I was really really happy about that, and man, that drove it home. I'm like, wow, that made that IWC even look more appealing to me, right? Because
Yeah.
now I saw this in action, and on top of that, it looks like with that IWC bracelet, it's easier to pop off, or you can do a strap change. You could change put any strap on there, as opposed to the Santos that you do have to use their straps, right?
Right.
For that system. Okay, that's fine. I really like that watch. I like that
Mhm.
Santos a lot. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
blue dial is killer. Um, I it's one of those things where, like, I kind of like would love to add it. I don't know how I would feel in general about getting a Cartier. But they do have history, and they do make great watches. There's a couple of their model lines, I love the old Roadsters.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
the Santos, it's a hot watch. I like it. Ra, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Santos also, and the Roadster is another
Yeah.
one. It's
Yeah.
right up there. I ran into
Yep.
one in a hotel bar in Los Angeles last year, just before the shutdown.
Hmm.
And let me tell you, that thing was stunning.
I
I was
know.
like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had to sit down and have another drink because the watch looked amazing.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about the Santos for a while, and I've actually tried to stay away from Santos content because there are other watches that I've been thinking of. If I keep watching these Santos videos, something's gonna happen,
Yeah.
So I had to take a few steps back, But eventually, I'm gonna get one, and I'm gonna shoot for that blue dial or that slate dial version. Have you seen the
Yeah.
slate dial, the dark
Yeah.
gray?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
wow.
I I had this, like, this fantasy that kind of got abruptly ended. I had this thing, like, where it would be awesome if I can get, like, a his and hers Santos, or a Santos and a tank for me and Mrs. Legs, and then I showed her, and she was like, "No, I'm not really interested." And I'm like, "Oh man, you
Yeah.
know,
My wife actually really likes the tank, the way that looks. So might be a thing for us.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, to do it.
Last up, well, not last up, one before the last was the Watchfinder uh, not the Grand Seiko, but the 5KX, the Watchfinder 5KX video toward the beginning of last week. It came
hmm
out. They made some really good points. How they said this is not for the watch enthusiast. It's for maybe the younger generation, or for the people who are coming up into the hobby. Something that might attract them into the hobby. And it was an interesting way to spin Seiko's missteps, I guess. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the 5KX. I mean, it's good to have the option, but why discontinue the SKX? Regardless, it was a great video, beautiful macro shots, and you really see the value of that you get with Seiko, seeing how little imperfection there was on all those macro shots. Great video. Really enjoyed that one as well. What do you think, Rob?
yeah." Well, Ra, why don't you go ahead, because we were talking a little bit about this before we
Right.
started the stream.
Mhm.
Please.
Yeah, I was surprised that seeing a 5KX on Watchfinder, which
Yeah.
is normally you're looking at top shelf stuff all the time, almost every single one of their videos, and I noticed in the comments, like, it got a lot of positive comments. So
Mm.
with people saying, "Wow, I can finally afford this one. Look at this watch," and "Wow, this is great." So I predict in the future you're going to see a lot more that level from Watchfinder, because I'm betting they just discovered another income base. Like, I think we got customers here. If we just pay a little bit more attention, we can bring these things in. But the video was well done, and
Yeah.
I even before like, I'm not a huge Seiko guy. Like, I have a Seiko like up in the front somewhere, but when they canceled the SKX, and I'm not a huge SKX guy. I've never owned one, never wanted one, but I understood its place. When they canceled the SKX and replaced it with a Seiko 5, I was like, what are you doing? Why? But that video kind of won me over to the Seiko, the 5KX side, because number one, the colorways are amazing. Like, I'm never going to buy a 5KX. But some of the color schemes that they have are absolutely beautiful, and much better looking than the SKX. And he brought up a good point that people aren't going to compare, aren't going to be upset about, 100-meter difference in water resistance rating. And he's right. I can't think of the last time any one of my watches, dive watches included, got wet. So, and I know that I'm not the only one in that category there. So he did it. That was probably one of my all-time favorite watchfinder videos, because he went a little hard on the Seiko SKX fanboys at the end.
He did, and I think right, you're right. I think they may have found another avenue of at least videos, right? Because that video had over 100,000 views in about a week. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of views. I understand why some of the SKX fanboys got a little upset with Seiko there with the 5KX, because and I think you never were going to make those guys happy anyway, right? Unless you continue just making SKXs. But a lot of the things that they were clamoring for, a couple of things they got a movement that hacked, right? Because a lot of things, what do you do when you mod an SKX? One of the things you do, you upgrade the movement so you can hack it, right? That's the fun part about it. But then you do take away the screw down crown. You only have 100-meter water resistance. Which, like you said, I mean, when am I going diving with these watches anyway? Then you throw an exhibition case back, and the movement, it's not like a pretty movement to see. So they were definitely going for a different crowd. And then Watchfinder, I'll refer to him as Watchfinder, was saying, well, you're never going to make them happy anyway, the SKX guys. That's why they have the prospects line. If you want more divers, real divers, then that's where you're going to have to go. Seiko, give them credit, they were trying to read and listen to a lot of their fan base as well, and so they just try to provide something that more people would like, and they're in the business of selling watches, right? Anyway, so let's just catch up with the chat before we go with that last review. Daniel, he loves the Santos in pics, but not on wrist. Hey, Design, what's up, man? Let's see here. Pete, Cartier is like Taylor Swift, finally becoming cool for middle-aged hetero guys. All right. I have an ADLC Coda Santos Dumont. Very, very cool. Design saying that I don't mind the 5KX. I understand the reasoning behind it, but it would take more effort for them to get my money. Hey, James. James is here. There is such a dog pile on the 5KX. And it just showed Seikoholics are just as snobby as other brand loyals. Okay.
Very true. It's true.
Kevin is saying I have my SKX, but rarely wear it. I will keep it, but so many better watches from Seiko these days. Also true. Okay, Sanjay. We have one more left, right?
Yeah, last one was my favorite one. If you guys haven't seen it, you definitely should go see it. It's the review of the 11470 Rolex Explorer by You're Terrific. So he had purchased a Rolex Explorer not too long ago for his 40th birthday, and he got this reference from 2004. Of course, a couple of weeks later, Rolex releases the 36 millimeter Explorer redone. Teched up, loomed up, and modernized, and well, not modernized, but he really goes through, he shows his emotional state, which was hilarious to see. And it was a great video on how he resettled back on the fact that he's happy with the one that he did get, and kind of pointing and prodding at the fact that he has still been unable to get a 36 millimeter Oyster Perpetual, so a small watch and a yellow dial. He's still not able to get it a year later, and so he he had a swing of emotions, came back down to baseline, and was happy again with his purchase. And it was a really enjoyable video to watch.
I'm gonna check that out tonight. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta admit, I haven't seen it. Wasn't able to see it either. But I like you. I love his stuff. You're terrific. He's great. He's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job with his reviews. Definitely in the queue.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sanjay.
No. That's I forgot to type it out, so that was my bad.
All right, so let's catch up here. Yeah, Peter, you're terrific. Did a great vid. Wilson, that was a good video. Bobby is it better decorated than the SKX or the Tudor Black Bay 58, which is better decorated? Yeah, right. So much to be said. Okay. I enjoyed that video considered. I also have a 114270. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's move on to the topic videos, the meat and potatoes of the show. We're going to start off with Jeffrey McMahon's A Life Without Watches. And this is Sanjay's pick this week. So Sanjay, do you want to kick it off for us?
Yeah. This again was one of those crisis videos from Jeff McMahon. I don't know if you guys regularly watch him. He's a great guy. Yeah. So he was talking about managing his inner man child, basically, and how there is a void, and it's kind of morbid, kind of depressing if you really think about it. There's this hole that he fills with watches. And he was talking about if he were to give up watches, there would just be something else that fills that void. And I find I was able to relate to that. I used to have all sorts of different hobbies, all sorts of different things that I used to collect, and watches has been the longest enduring thing that has been in a part of my life. And I know that if I were to quit watches at some point, something else will come along. There is no doubt about it. There was so it was kind of a seeing the picture of Dorian Gray. I don't know if you guys have
yeah.
So I see Jeff McMahon as like the really messed up version of me. And he mentioned he mentioned towards the end that you guys, why do you guys come here? Why do you guys watch these videos? I have a theory that you guys come here to watch me suffer.
Yeah.
And in a sense, I thought, what? That's kind of one of the reasons I go to see Jeff McMahon, not to make myself feel better, but to kind of warn me of what could happen. And I guess it was a good reality check. It was a great video. It was hilarious. You guys should go check it out if you haven't seen it already. Guys in the chat.
That's a funny video.
Yeah. What do you think, Ra?
I thought it was good. I watch all of his videos. And he's like, I want to be the one watch guy, but something else will fill that hole. And he's 100% correct, because before I got into watches, like I would always buy, sell, trade high-end whiskey. Waiting for new releases, buying this and buying that and get it. Okay, I bought a couple of bottles, one for me to drink, one to trade, that kind of stuff. And I was big into that. And then almost like a light switch, boop, it was watches. And now I really don't deal with whiskey anymore. And now if I enter this, utopia that he always talks about, just going down to one or two watches, he always says that, being free. I know that if I would love to be there. But I did, okay, now it's going to be, before whiskey, it was buying parts for the car and getting the car right, change the shocks, and would get a new intake manifold. So, it'll be right back into something else, right? But something's going to come in the next day. And he's spot on with that observation.
No, absolutely. And, I watch his stuff too. I been subscribed to his channel for a while. I actually unsubscribed at one point. Right. And and then I resubscribed again because it was like it hit home too much. every time I watch his videos. Like I didn't like that part of myself. And then so I took some notes, and at the end, Sanjay was alluding to one of the questions that Jeff was asking. He asked a couple other questions. He was like, he's like, number one, do you even like the watch hobby? Whoa, like,
Yeah,
are
that's a
you?
big one.
That's a big one, man. I mean, like, I think I do. I'm
Yeah.
into it. I really am. But do I not? Do I not like the hobby? I mean, I love the people that I met. You guys, the friendships developed. As a content creator, I get to see a lot of watches, right? Experience things that I probably would have not experienced if I didn't get into content creating anyway, the part of the hobby. But do I even like collecting watches? Oh, such a hard hitting question. And then, could you quit this if the liabilities are greater than the positives? Could you just like walk away, or do a reset, right, and then come back to it like 6 months or 12 months later? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I could even do that, right? And if you do quit, is there a question is like, what will happen? You know, I don't know. Will I substitute something else? For this, like, before I was collecting or got back into collecting watches, I was collecting workout equipment. I mean, I didn't think of it as collecting, but I
Hmm.
was. I mean, thankfully I have it now because during the pandemic, like, I can go to my barn and work out. But like when I was growing up, I had baseball cards, and then it was comic books, so like something is going to fill that void,
Yeah.
because it always has happened in my life,
There's always
you
something
know?
there.
But I don't know. I mean, when I hear myself saying something's going to fill that void, I think it sounds like a negative statement, but it really isn't. It's just like another thing that brings me joy, right? It's not filling a void; it's just bringing me joy. So it depends on how you look at it, right?
Mhm.
And at least that's the way I choose to look at it. And then, like, finally, like Sanjay said, like Jeff said, like, why are we here? Why are you here? Why are you watching me? Because I can identify with what you're going through, sir. And on a daily basis. Um, Oil Money, remember when everyone said that the new OPs would bring a whole new generation of collectors to Rolex? That was never going to be true because the Rolex enthusiasts are hoovering them up.
Mhm.
Um, James Duffy, I don't know. Yeah, sure. I can. Okay. Let's see here. Everyday watch guy, watch collecting is a disease and will not leave you room for other hobbies. Well, there's plenty of guys that I know that do collect watches and collect knives and or
Pen.
pens, right? Or pens, right? Uh, Kevin
Or
is saying, I will always try to watch Jeff, but can't seem to get through one of his vids. As an armchair psychologist, if I want to get analyzed, I will go talk to my wife. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's a little hard to get through his videos. Sure, I get that. I find them in general very entertaining, though.
mm,
Um, Jared, late
Mhm.
to the party, but good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. Thank you, Jared. Uh, Jeff McMahon is the Joseph Campbell of watch addiction, chronicling the journey of the watch obsessive.
Mhm.
It's a sickness. uh, the Picture of Dorian Gray, classic movie by Angela Lansbury. Sanjay, have you seen that one? Nope.
I read the
Okay.
book.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. That's fine. I restored and collected cars before watches. Way easier to store. Watches are way easier to store. Um, My name is Rick, and I am a watchaholic. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Steve Papa, hey, thanks for joining us. Do you have any more of that whiskey? I'll trade you a bottle of Beam. Uh,
It's funny, drinking beam. So it's like, what?
nice. Daniel Yos, I sold 3 watches this week. Feels great. So, Daniel, I forgot to ask you, are you downsizing or are you just selling off watches to buy something else? Would love to know. Riss Ross, same here. Wine, then vinyl, then whiskey, then watches, then knives.
Mhm.
That's great. Uh, and the Mariners are even doing pretty good. There you go. Let's see. I want to make sure I hit everybody up here before we move on. I wish I was Neo in the Horology Matrix and get shot down, wake up, and be reborn as the one and dodge the new horological bullets. It releases and just say no. Young Excellency, I kicked the knife collecting problem by starting a watch buying problem. Also have have a lot of Zippos, belt buckles, and dozens of other things. I used to collect belt buckles too. And that's so funny. I collect Jazz Fest posters too. I keep on forgetting that I do that. And he's just selling the ones he doesn't wear. At Bobby Legs Challenge suggests to me a 4K watch with a clear case back. I had to think about that. How about a Tudor Black Bay silver, the 925?
Seamaster 300 with the
yeah,
find one used. You could probably find one under $4,000 used,
yep.
Pre-owned.
Tudor North flag.
There you go. Okay, so let's move on to topic number 2, and this is Ra's choice here, the Paul Thorpe watch dealer. I've got an unhappy customer. Ra, take it away. Let us know what this video is about.
Upon the first half of the video, it was as someone who, grew up, teen years and so on, working retail. You're always going to have the unhappy customer. So, and this one struck me as, the audacity. So he sells a vintage watch, mind you, gives a 6-month warranty on the watch. Okay, that's understood. Person takes watch, gone, happy. They come back 4 years later because now there's a problem with the vintage watch, and they're demanding, hey, you fix it. I'm really unhappy with what you've done. They're livid that the watch isn't working anymore. And then from that, right off the bat, he's like, okay, I'll try and help you, this and that. It doesn't work out. But I'm thinking the patience that this guy has to assist someone who came back 4 years later. And I'm thinking of my days working retail in the Bronx. Like, we would have set you on fire right there on the showroom floor. Right. But it led into, how warranties work with a lot of dealers, which caught me off guard because I didn't even, it was a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. Depending on how much profit, some dealers make on a watch, that dictates how long of a warranty that you'll have. So if he only made $350 profit on a Rolex and he offered 6-month warranty. He goes, if I had made $1,000 profit on that Rolex, I would have offered, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and so on. So I never knew that there was a sliding scale of warranties depending on where you go. But, I tend to stick to major dealers and they all have that same set, 2 years, 1 year, here and there. So that really caught me off guard. His customer service is terrific. If I lived in the UK, I'd be buying from him if he was still in business, left and right. So that was something that surprised me. And it made me think about people that get into automatic watches or mechanical watches in general, especially with the Rolex craze and how many people that are buying these watches and getting them know about servicing down the line, servicing costs down the line, and so on. Because I've got a sinking feeling that a lot of people that jump into these watches right off the bat have zero idea that it's a mechanical piece. You're going to have to service it. You're going to have to spend an additional $1,000, $1,500 to get this watch working at some point. And I just wonder how many people jump in and no clue. It's going to run forever, so. And are the ADs telling them this when they sell the watch to somebody? Oh, you would like to buy this Explorer? Here you go. Oh, yeah, run it. Oh, here's some champagne. See you later. So, who knows? It's very surprising that, the sliding scale of warranties was something that was like, what? How did I not know this? But now I do. So.
Yeah, I wasn't aware, but now that I hear his explanation, I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense that they would do that. I'm not a huge Paul Thorpe fan, but I have to say that I was with him in this video. It's almost like the audacity of this guy coming back 4 years later, right? And he bought an older vintage. I don't know how old, but it was definitely not new, right? Yeah, exactly. So what do you think? That's why I don't buy vintage. This is
Yeah.
why I don't buy it. And it's not because I don't like vintage. I would love to have vintage watches. I just don't know anything about them,
Yeah.
you know?
It's
And
a minefield. It's a minefield.
of course, yeah. And so like this sounds like somebody who's like a speculator who's, buying a Rolex because it's the hot thing. It's like jumping into a stock that you don't know of and you're surprised 2 weeks later when the stock tanks, and then what, you go to your broker and ask for your money back. Like you don't do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a huge head scratcher for me on this one. Some of the other, see, look, I for years I was in real estate, and you can tell by somebody who you're working with whether you want to work with this person or not. He was telling the story about how he sent this guy over to his watchmaker, and his watchmaker was like, listen, I don't want to take the job. You know what I mean? I don't want to
Yeah.
offend you, but I don't want to take the job because this guy, and I've done that. I've sensed stuff from people that whatever you do, you're never going to make them happy. I can just tell from
Yeah.
experience, and I would just be like, hey, do you want to work with this person?
Yeah.
And pass them along. Yeah, it's kind of like a mean thing to do, but I don't want to work with somebody that I know I'm never going to have satisfied. And when I
Hmm.
sell them a house, and then 2 years later, it needs a new roof, and then um, now they want me to do something about it. Like, no, nah, man, no.
Yeah.
Sanjay,
No,
what did you think?
This kind of hit a bit home to me actually. So I remember watching this video and being upset as as you guys were as well. And my brother-in-law is actually going through something similar, not exactly the same, but he is going through something similar, and that I've had to help him with some of the stuff going on. He's a contractor. He does home renovations, and the guy, got to pretty much the end of the renovation and then locked him out of the house. And he can't. He's not paying, basically not answering, and demanding very specific kinds of invoices. So I spent some time with my brother-in-law and made this very specific invoice that he wanted, and then he never answered anyway. So all these this video kind of brought those feelings back, and I was kind of more angry than I normally would be. But
Mhm.
you guys are right. This is something that you can sense. I used to own a car detailing business, and there were some customers who this is bad news. When you get, I used to be a mobile detailer, so I'd get to the customer and be like, yeah, I don't think I don't think you and I are a fit for each other, and
Mhm.
kind of try to back away from doing that job. It usually didn't end well anyway, whether you wanted to back away or decide to do the job. It usually didn't end well. And yeah, he Paul Thorpe has been very patient with this guy so far, and it was good to see that level of customer service coming from
Mhm.
someone.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with a couple of times, dealt with people like this, and oh boy, it's
Yeah.
not never ends well. So
Mhm.
Oh, hey, Chris from the Watch. Thanks, buddy. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Good to see you, man. Um, let's see here. Paul Thorpe is less interesting than watching paint dry. Okay, well, all right. Let's not try to knock Paul's drama, man. Okay, all right. I keep on clicking on these. Why? Um, having been in retail as a sales trainer as well, I would ask the customer, "When does the watch become yours?" Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Uh,
oh,
yeah. No,
I've
go
thought
ahead. Sorry.
about that too with like watches that I've bought, and they come, some of them have the warranty card, it's still under warranty. And the seller would be like, well, you can send it back to me. And I'm thinking if something goes wrong, I'm going right to it's going back to Omega or wherever.
Mhm.
I will skip over the time it takes. I'd rather pay than send it back to, let's say, Crown and Caliber or somebody. And then they look at, I would
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
pay than send it back to IWC or whoever it is, have them look at it. I don't care,
I'm
so
with you. I'm
not,
with you on that. Jared, vintage watches scare me, even the ones I inherited from family members. Nice to look at for sure. Yeah. So, my buddy,
yeah.
he had his grandfather's, Longines that his mother had given to him. Um, his grandfather's daughter was my friend's mother, and and so it hadn't worked in years, and he brought it to a service center, I guess a Swatch service center here in Jersey, and they wanted $1,500 to fix the watch and repair it. Now this is like a 50, 60-year-old watch, and I told them don't do that. That's bananas. The watch is probably not even worth close to that. This case, sending it back to the brand it wasn't to his advantage, and he brought it to somebody local who fixed it up for $200. Mm-hmm. But that's not a Rolex, right? I think with a Rolex, maybe you do make that exception no matter what and send it back to them. Maybe I don't know. That's why I just don't even bother with vintage. I like the way they look. That's about it. Yeah. I like Paul Thorpe, and if you ever heard what happened to him when he was robbed for his AP, it's harrowing. Was that the first horological Karen in documented history? That's funny. Deech, he collects a lot of things. Spinners, yes, I'm weird. Pens, clickers, precision spinning tops, bonsai, but I must say watches are at the top of my obsessions. That's an interesting combination of things to collect, I would say. Watch yourself. I bought a vintage Seiko. I bought it expecting it to be shot and needing a complete overhaul. Okay, well, I think if you go in with that mindset, then you save yourself a lot of pain, right? If you go in the fact that it's going to need an overhaul, then you're prepared, you know? Sanjay, have you seen Fists of Fury?
Nope.
Okay.
Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quoting the late DMX, if I gots to bring it to you cowards, then it's gonna be quick. All your mans that been jail before, blank, blank, blank. Okay.
No idea what that
means. Some vintage limousines can be very valuable. Yeah. It's just not the one my buddy had. But yes, you are correct. It really depends on how much you are willing to shell out for servicing, pre-owned or new. Collectors just need to consider these costs. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think Paul had mentioned that, he was wondering if this guy ever, like, and Ra, you were saying about, like, the mentality of somebody buying a mechanical or automatic watch for the first time, knowing, what the pitfalls could be, especially an older watch, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I think we're going to move on to the final topic. And UptickWatchReviews, he did a watch safari, which these are actually fun. He's done this before, right? But what attracted me to the video, and I usually watch most of his stuff, was the thumbnail, and it said something to the effect like, is it in the hunt? Like, is there joy in the hunt, or something about it regarding, is it the hunt that gets us? And it made me, well, yeah, do you have it in front of you?
The thrill of the chase.
The thrill of the chase. That's what it was. The thrill of the chase. And so that just sparked, I'm going to go off topic a little bit because he doesn't really go into talking about the psychology of the thrill of the chase per se so much. He just goes and shows what he's been looking at and all the Rolexes and all the Cokes and the Pepsis, whatever. And the thrill of the chase, like lately, that has been all too consuming for me. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like that when you get the watch finally, there's a little bit of a letdown, right? I mean, I think we all feel that way, right? I mean, so what is it, man? So why do I feel that way? I don't know. This is something I'm sure Jeff McMahon has addressed. If not, I hope he does soon, because yeah, the thrill of searching, combing through online looking for that watch is awesome. How do you guys feel about it? And the video?
I really enjoyed the video, but yeah, I after a while it was kind of repetitive. I mean, in a sense, I'm never going to be where he is right now, and I can't really make use of the fact that he's showing off all these watches. In a sense, it's not that interesting or that valuable for me, I should say. But I did enjoy the video, and yeah, you're right. In a sense, the chase is a huge part of the collecting, I guess. And I know for me, the longest I've chased, kind of passively chased a watch was when I acquired my vintage King Seiko. So I've been looking at that for a while, and occasionally, I still have this really kind of hard attitude where I don't want to spend a lot of money online through PayPal or whatever it might be, and because of that, I always kind of frequent my local forums and stuff like that, because I prefer face to face or transactions. Kind of, I don't know why. It's something I can't shake. Yeah, the longest chase that I've been on, it was for this King Seiko, and it was, when I finally did get one, I got it at a decent, very good price, and I met a great guy who's now a friend of mine, and it was a lot of fun, and in a sense, the watch is almost secondary to all that. Now I know this guy who I text every once in a while. He always texts me when he gets a new watch, and the King Seiko is kind of a trophy of that experience. And yeah, so that's in a sense really messed up, but in a way, it's kind of what this collection or this hobby has become. But yeah, Rob, what were you going to say? Sorry, before I interrupt.
No, that's all right. So, I totally understand what he's talking about and what he's alluding to there, because with me, I spend so much time researching and, okay, well, this is going to be the perfect watch for me, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to track it down. I was chasing a Blancpain around the block for probably about 4 years until I found one and was able to get it, and then I had it, and I was like, well, after I get my mindset every single time. After I get this watch, that's it for me. I'm out of the hobby.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So 6 watches later,
Yeah.
that's clearly not the case. So it always seems like as soon as you get the one that you want, you finally got it, you have it, you're wearing it. Wow, this is great. I've got it. Something else is coming right down the block.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. And I don't know how he even survives out there, because his videos going from store to store, I'd be in so much trouble. Every time I watch one of his videos, I've got my phone there and I'm doing the conversion from Hong Kong to, okay, Hong Kong, how much how many dollars, how much? Oh, that's a good price. Wow, you should go back, every single time.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of the stuff he comes across in those windows, I'm like,
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's a good. All of his videos are good.
Yeah.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. Hi, Knife Watch. Hey guys, great to see you. The thrill of the chase is all of the amazing history you learn along the way. I discover amazing watches while hunting. So very true. Thank you for the super chat. I had a thought here. I'm sorry, Rod. Did you want to?
Yeah, with that statement there, with what he was saying, what started me on watches initially was I was wandered into a Tag Heuer boutique out here, and I saw a Link model that they had, and I was like, wow, that's great, And then I go home, I research it a little bit, and I say, you know what, I'm just gonna go back and buy it. Go back the next day, the watch is gone. So now I'm like, damn it. So now every night I'm looking for that watch, but in my hunt for that watch, I came across so many other different watches where the Link sort of like started to fall to the wayside. No, I want this. No, I want that. Oh, Panerai, what are these guys about? That exact thing got me into the hobby. So it was that was a 100% comment, 100%.
So I'm not sure if I have this thought formulated or thought through yet. So I'm just going to talk it out. So we had the thrill of the chase. We are looking for that watch. It takes us time to find it. Do you get the same feeling? I don't know if you guys have had this experience. I just recently had it, where you put down a deposit on a watch. You don't know when it's going to be delivered. And then it finally does eventually. But that, for me, that anticipation of getting that email from the dealer saying that your watch is here, I almost like every day I was looking for that email. And I'm trying to think in my mind or analyze it and see if it's almost the same kind of feeling. Have you guys had that experience before, where you put down something and you're waiting for that email?
Only the with FedEx notifications.
Well, okay, yeah. So I mean, to a certain extent, you get that same thrill of the chase with the FedEx, right? Like you're almost like,
Drives me crazy.
yeah, but with this one, right? Instead of like when you're with watches, right, and you're seeking, you're going out and hunting your prey. With the FedEx, you're like in one spot waiting for the prey to come, right?
Mhm.
To grab him up. So it's kind of like the same feeling. No, I get that too, man. Anything watch related like that, if there's like an adrenaline boost, you know.
Yeah, and I've
Um,
automatically become a master of transportation and logistics. Whenever my watch is, why has my watch been sitting at a FedEx depot in Memphis for 4 hours? It's one.
yeah,
Why can't they deload that?
I
Who's
know.
working over there for these guys? It shouldn't take this long.
Yeah.
It's totally ridiculous. Totally.
That's never
Uh,
actually happened to me. I don't I can't put down a deposit and wait. I don't know. I just don't have the patience. To
okay,
me, that would be absolutely torturous.
gotcha.
I just can't do it. That's why the Ming watch, even though it was really tempting, I would like, "Well, man, this just it's like saying goodbye to your money and never seeing it or not seeing it for a year.
Yeah,
It would
yeah.
just be torture for me.
It is torture, but it's also like thrilling. Death Diver. They never live up to the image we create in our minds. We forgive the ones we like and chastise the ones we don't. Blue Ram, hey there, buddy. I think the chase is part of the fun. Online watch buying can make it too easy sometimes. That's true. Let's see here. Um, Bobby Sanjay, why aren't you talking about Pizza Mega videos? Great brand and industry analysis. He just came out with that yesterday or today, right?
I think part 3 came out either yesterday or today.
Well, on money, we'll make sure we'll throw it in the agenda next week. I just didn't get a chance to catch up on that one. We each select one video. If we do more, it's just we'll be here for 2 hours, and it'll be crazy. And then I don't want to give these guys homework. Oil money. I don't want to give Sanjay and Ra homework to do. It's bad enough I tell them to pick a video. You know.
It's not homework.
Every chase builds excitement. That is true. Face to face can be scarier than online, Sanjay. Those
That's
Omega.
It's never happened though. I've every face to face interaction I've had has been really pleasant. I know there's a first for everything, and the next one might be horrible, but you never know.
The hunt never ends. Thanks, Bobby. Sanjay goes to the movie theater ticket relief fund. Yeah, okay, you got it. There you go. Chasing a specific watch I love, chasing a deal I despise. It's funny how you can justify and rationale things to yourself and make it okay. That is very, very true. Very true. Kevin is saying, I like Uptick collects Patek, JLC, and Rolex, and also reviews Seiko, Oris, and other photos. Absolutely.
Yeah, he does.
His channel began with affordables. He definitely went to luxury very, very quickly, but still dabbles with affordables. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like his collection. And he
Yeah, he's got a great
agonizes too.
collection.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does, and he agonizes too sometimes. And I like to see that. I like people's pain. Entertainment. Design is saying it's like the chase was over at the finish line, but you're waiting for the medal at the podium. Yeah, I guess maybe in regards to putting a deposit down and waiting. I guess. Kevin is saying the opposite. I almost dread the call from the AD because it's time to pay up. True.
Yeah.
Bobby, not just yet. Deposit done. I'm likely to come in July, but guessing it will be. I'll be getting edgy. Okay. I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's talking to me or the other Bobby, but I also think I know what he's talking about as well, which doesn't make any sense. Okay. Oil money. For me, the fear of my wife finding out about a potential watch purchase before the transaction is completed is the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Another, hey, Risk Ross, I like to view deposits as a way to spread out the cost. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think I'm with you on that, Risk Ross. I think I subconsciously like that format because of what you're pointing out right here. We did have an idea. Why not consider a segment on watch books? Okay, and we got to read. We got to do a lot of reading. Watch books.
Now that's homework.
Now that's homework, man. Unless they come out with cliff notes. So, Man and His Watch. No,
And
That's a
the
good book.
segment will
that
go.
is a good book. Actually, I did read that one.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Watch Books with Bobby Legs.
It does very NPR-ish. I mean, I guess you guys don't have NPR.
What's
Oh
that?
yeah, we do.
No, but in Canada they don't. Well, I'm sure Canada has a version of it. It's like public radio. So
okay.
that voice is very NPR-ish. Knife Watch. I find that there's a threshold where the prices stress you out as much or more than the thrill. That's when you have to take a step back. Finding a gem Seiko is better feeling than an okay Tudor. Okay. PB, I can't read. That's what YouTube is for. Excellent. Well, guys, we're about an hour here. Yeah. Watch Club. Dude. I miss Click and Clack. That's the Car Guys, right? The Car Guys on NPR. They used to do a show where you would call in with your car problem, and they would tell you what the problem is, and they'll make you, replay the noise that it's making. So you hear people making the noise that their car is making, and then from that noise from that person, they can tell what is actually wrong with the car, which is amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm not going to read that comment, Oil Money. You bad boy. Anyway, guys, we're over an hour. Thanks again, Ra, for coming on today. We really
Thank you for having
appreciate
me.
it. Love having you
Thanks.
on when you can, and it's awesome. Anything coming up? Any watches you're hunting or anything?
Still on the fence about 50 Fathoms, and then thinking of with the new IWC, maybe moving my Mark 18 and putting it, trading it for that, and just that in cash for that new 43 millimeter. But I'm torn between, I have a saying that I apply to myself: if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. So that makes me want the original Big Pilot kind of a little bit more now, because if you're going to do it, do it. Don't no half measures. So I'll be sleeping on that one for about a month. We'll see.
I think I hear what you're saying. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. I think that I'm starting to really turn on that new IWC, the 43. I didn't like it at first. Now I'm like, I really, really like it.
It's
so
nice.
I don't think it's a slouch. I don't think it's a poor man's Big Pilot, the big Pilot. I think it could stand alone on its merits, because that bracelet is just brilliant. The size is great. The dial, the blue dial, is beautiful. So I wouldn't, I hope you get it. That's all. That's all I say is I hope you get it. Sanjay, what about you, man? What's up? What's going? What's coming up soon for you?
Not too much. I really need to do a review on the Railmaster. So that will be hopefully coming out this week. If not this week, next week. But the usual Saturday evening live stream on Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's it. You can find me at on YouTube at Engineer Wannabe and Instagram Engineer_Wannabe. So,
Sanjay, can you address this question here that Joe has, because I think it's an interesting question.
Am I one of those guys who says the book is better than the movie? Nope, nope. I don't say that. I would not be one of those guys.
Okay. Oh man. No movie quotes today. We're giving you the night off, Sanjay. You're a good sport. Pete throwing one here at the end here for Ra that Mojave Big Pilot is a killer. Very true.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Very true.
I was looking at one today.
Yeah.
So like, oh man, oh.
No,
Yeah, it's gonna be trouble. It's trouble.
It is a killer. Anyway, guys, thanks again for working with us tonight here, Ra. Sanjay, was good as always. Every week
Thank
with
you.
you, man. Love you, brother. And everyone at the chat, thank you so much for hanging in there on a Sunday night with us. And we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.